Yeah, my name is Stephan Rausch, and I'm an illustrator and designer, originally from Berlin. I'm currently living in Aberdeen. I got into illustration and design. While studying here, I kind of needed some kind of creative outlet. I love a lot of things from the 50s, like those vintage comics and print, American print especially from the US, and muted colors, vintage, and kind of that limited color palette, which is something I've started to get into recently. It's not always been about like how pretty something is or how much technicality there is. It's always been about like the decision you make while you create something. You always make some kind of decision subconsciously, and that's like a creative process to me. And that to me is art at the end of the day. That sort of creative decision you keep making while creating something, in a way, if you know what I'm coming from. But it's very decision based to me, and it's everywhere, even when we communicate with each other. And like, we build our own stories when we live life. And even like writing your own story as a human being is to me art, And so to me, art is something we live. Well, I'm trying to actually really just do what I really love. I do it because I just love doing it. And it's something that, every day creating something new challenges me. And I see a new side of myself from a creative perspective. Compared to Berlin, like Aberdeen does have a different feel to it. And what's interesting is, obviously Berlin is a much bigger city with an actual creative scene, but in Aberdeen there's a lot of pockets and a lot of like, hidden work that's very original and, I think is inspired by the fact that it's still a growing scene and you can kind of focus on yourself a lot and not be distracted by trends or whatever is out there. And I've noticed a lot of original work coming out of here. Whereas back home, there is a tendency where people do pick up on trends a little too much. Especially the culture is very driven by, individuality. And I think in Aberdeen, there's a growing aspect of that as well. So there are good signs pointing to more creative culture in Aberdeen. And I think it's okay to like, dabble a bit, experiment, be fearless. And a small town doesn't mean you cannot, reach out. You can definitely find a place for yourself as an artist and focus on yourself, I think Aberdeen did allow me to like develop my own style over time. Yeah, if I were to sum up my work, I would say it's inspired by tactility and, the classics, and it's timeless, and it allows people to kind of look outside of the box as well. And it's inspirational in that sense. And it also tells the story of like, don't always look at trends, just look at what you feel, and whatever comes from your heart when you do something, that's what you're supposed to do, I think.